What's up, superstars? On today's video, I'm going to be testing out and unboxing Vevor's biggest heat press, their 16 by 24. This thing is wide. It's basically as wide as a commercial sized gang sheet. So if you're starting off, wanting to upgrade to something bigger, or press a lot of oversized streetwear, I'm talking 16 inches plus wide stuff, watch to the end to see if this is something that you need. Plus this press, it's $300 at the time of this video, and that includes free shipping from Vevor. I don't know how Vevor does this, but keep doing it. I hope the tariffs don't mess this one up. But before I test this, guys, I'm gonna need artwork. I was actually inspired by Street Warehouse on Instagram. So if you're following them for screen printing tips, this one's a gem. They've got some really big oversized designs that I'm gonna be inspired and using and creating something similar to this and giving it a shot. And I'm gonna be trying to tackle this with DTF because this print is normally something that's difficult to print with. So now let's head over to Kittl, let's find some oversized streetwear design, and let's start creating. All right, guys, we are gonna head over to Kittl.com. We're gonna be using this as our design tool. So if you guys are not familiar with Kittl, it's a great online design tool. You don't need a fancy computer. And the best part about it, it's super easy to use. Templates are available so that you can easily customize and create your designs right on the spot. Now, if you have not tried Kittl before, make sure you guys take advantage of the 25% off using our code below. And it's for new users only, but make sure you guys take advantage of that. Even if you don't want to sign up, it is free to take a look at it until you really want to export something for print ready. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the templates that it has. There's a ton of designs, so if you have not seen our other videos, make sure you guys check it out because I go through the design process and I show you how you can easily edit everything. For this particular design, I'm not going to be scrolling through everything to find you guys a design. I did find one that I think would be a good example. I have not printed it out yet before, so I'm going to actually be doing this with you guys. Here is the actual design. I think this one is good. I love the way that the lettering is placed. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the template. It's going to go ahead and populate the design so that you can start editing. Now, once you have this loaded here, a couple of things that you're going to notice, give me 1 second while it loads, is that it has this grunge effect here, which is not technically going to print very well with DTF. So you do want to remove that. How do you remove it? Just go ahead and click on this top left corner. This is going to bring out the artboard with all the settings here. You want to go to the mask texture, click on that. It keeps all the effect within the graphics so that it's not going to transfer through. So let me go ahead and click that out. And again, all this right here is going to not print if you click on the mask texture. And now this is the design that I'm going to do. Unfortunately, it is currently on pixels. I usually work with inches, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is right now and I'm gonna worry about that later. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out and I actually want to make a new artboard. So let's make a brand new artboard on the side. I'm going to click on the lucky text of it. I'm going to click on Alt, Shift. I want to move it over here. And then what I want to actually do at this point is to go back to this design. I'm going to delete the Y and I'm going to delete the L. And then I'm going to click back here. And I'm actually going to, I actually want to space it out a little bit better. Click here, and then let's go ahead and click on, so letter spacing. Let's try to do something dramatic and see if it makes a big difference. So 50 is there, it's not dramatic at all. Let's try 500. That might actually work. Let me just raise this up a bit. I think that looks pretty good. Let me lower this a little bit. I think it might look better. Just like this one right here, I'm lower it. I like that setup. I did not change the size of the font. So when I click on this next artboard, let's just go ahead and delete like that. I'm basically just wanting the letters alone because I'm going to be putting this on the sleeve. So I do want this a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and change this to 500. That's a little bit too big. 450 maybe. That looks good. Maybe 400. I don't want it like too oversized, but I just want it a little bit bigger, but I still need it to fit the sleeve. So that's kind of my concern. So maybe do 350 and then we can work from there. If I really need to edit it after, we can do something about it. But as of right now, I'm gonna be happy with the way that this one's at. And now the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and click on export. So let's go ahead and click on the share button and then let's go and click on downloads. And then we're gonna change this to 300 DPI, change this to inches. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this at, let's say 20 inches. I want this wide. I'd rather print it wide and then worry about downsizing it in the builder or when I'm getting this printed. If you really want to resize the gang sheet and make it more accurate, you can actually drag these artboards so it's closer to the text, so you'll have a closer true value. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this the way it is. I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead and export, change the settings again. Let's just do 20. And we're gonna be exporting both artboards at the same time. And then let's go click download. Perfect. Now, if you are doing downloading multiple files, then it's gonna come out as a zip file. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is head over to our website, transfersuperstars.com, and we're gonna be using our gang sheet builder. So if you need the latest, greatest DTF transfers, make sure you head over to transfersuperstars.com. We'll get this printed for you quickly. Let's go ahead and build your gang sheet. Choose your gang sheet size. You can start off with the smallest if you want. But for us, we're just gonna go ahead and go to the 22 by 36 because I know that I'm gonna get a huge oversized print. And let's go ahead and upload the two images that I have here and here. Boom. All you need to do is click on it once and it's gonna populate onto your artboard. If you look on the left-hand side, it shows you the dimensions. So it is currently 16.71 by 22.46. So let me just get this second design uploaded at the same time because I want to make sure that this is kind of in proportion. So let me see if I can figure out proportion. So if I want this at 16 in, or 15 point, let's do 15.8. The reason why I did 15.8 is because the press is 16 inches wide. Technically, I can rotate this, fit this any way that I want. But I want to make sure that it's a little bit smaller than my heat press in case the edge of the heat press doesn't have enough heat. I just want to make sure that I'm within that bounds or that range. So 15.8 is good. That one gives me 11.5. Let's do this at 11. Let me see how that looks. So it's a little bit bigger, but not that much. Yeah, I think that's good for the sleeve. And then now it's like this. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it. So let's just rotate it by clicking on this rotate button. And I can still fit it within the gang sheet. And let's bring this up right here. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and go with the 24 inch. There you go, perfect. 24 inches, so it actually saved me some room and I'm good. And if I wanna go ahead and make this a little bit smaller, like that, I can actually duplicate this and fit another one right here. Just in case you want an extra backup and you have some extra space, why not? This is also a perfect opportunity if you want to do let's say a neck tag or so. You can actually fill this up with neck tag, maybe something for the sleeve, whatever it is. Take advantage of the gang sheet builder so that you can utilize this and customize your own gang sheet, maximize your prints. Now go ahead and save and add to cart. I usually like to name these, name this so that it's easy to reload and actually upload it and reorder if needed. And I actually like to date it so that you'll know when you made this, so that you can always refer back just in case you need to. Add it to the cart, make your checkout. We'll get this printed in about 2 days or less. And let's go in and take a look at the transfers.
Having fun watching? We got plenty more where that came from. Check out our channel for more tutorials, tips, and creative ideas. When you're ready to bring your designs to life, visit transfersuperstar.com for high quality DTF prints that stand out.
Guys, we are back. We've got our transfers here. Really big design. Can't wait to actually put this on a shirt. Before I actually show you the design or actually place it on, we need to open up the heat press so that we can check it out and do the unboxing for you guys. Briefly, huge box, says Team Lift on it. It does weigh about 64 pounds, so you should have somebody else help you lift this. This is not the heaviest heat press that I've actually picked up. I think the Geonite is near 100 pounds. So at 64 pounds, it's not that bad at all. Let's do the unboxing. Vevor always include their instructions up top, and they also have their contact, the support right here. They also have a warranty. I'm not exactly sure their warranty period, but you might want to check out with them. But Vevor is usually pretty good at their warranty. Vevor literally does everything, so make sure you guys check them out. They have good product, at a great price point. That's what they're really known for, is their price point. Now this is a big press, so let me just dump this on the floor. I'm not gonna be able to do this without. Whew, that was heavy. This is the initial view of it. Personally, for me, I haven't really been a big fan of horizontal layouts. I really like the vertical layouts because it's easier to load, but I'm sure that there are some benefits and reasons why they do this horizontal press. And for us, I can see this being beneficial of working with oversized prints where you're just doing the top and you're doing the bottom, you get it all in one shot. So that's what I think is good for this one. It might also be really good for sublimation. So let me just cut this. Hopefully it doesn't pop on. Oh, there you go. That's a really strong pop. Wow, that's a really strong pop. It's almost like a auto release even. So there's two paddings here, and you've got your built-in Teflon sheet that's already, so you don't need to add on any Teflon sheets here. Let's go ahead and give some overall measurements. So again, this should be 24, which is 23.5, so not quite 24, but you've got about 15.25. That's the padding. So let me see if this is actually different. So same result, 13.5 right here as far as the top heating element, and you've got about 15.5, a little bit more than 15.5, not quite 16. So it's a bit short from what they advertised. Now, as far as the overall height here, you've got about 28 inches in height. In depth here to here, about 24 inches, so 2 foot in depth. So kind of have that in mind if you guys are setting up a table for this press. One thing I did forget to measure is actually the distance here. So you have about 2.5 inches, which is plenty of room. Even the gap between here to here, if you want to put a hoodie on there, you do have over 2 inches in gap room right there. So there is room for you to actually put stuff in there. Now, as far as the whole setup here, what I am noticing, I did check the box, but I might be missing a handle here. I am not sure. They do have holes here for possibly a handle, but I didn't see one anywhere around the press, so it might be missing something here. Another thing I noticed is that there is a warranty and their information right here, which is nice. You know exactly what press it is and how to get a hold of them in case you need to. So now the next thing I'm going to do is actually get this plugged in and test how long it takes to fire up to 300 degrees, which is normally what we heat press our DTF transfers with. Last thing, the cord, kind of short, so I wish they extended this to at least 6 foot. With that said, I'm gonna have to bring an extension up so that I can actually get this plugged in. All right, so here's also, guys, I'm gonna turn this around sideways. There's actually a fuse here, so that's good in case anything shorts or goes out. Just replace the fuse and it should work. Let me go ahead and get my timer on. I'm gonna go ahead and press the timer while I do this. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and set our temperature to 300, and let's just go ahead and bring it to 300. All right, perfect. And I'm gonna press temp again, press time, shorten this to 7 seconds. All right, so let's go ahead and let this fire up. I already feel it heating up, so let's just go ahead and see the timer, and we'll see how long it takes. All right, guys, basically 12 minutes and a few seconds. That's how long it takes to fire up to 300 degrees. That's not bad. We have heat presses that take 10 to 15 minutes or even 20 minutes to heat up to 300. It just means that it's more regulated. It takes longer to heat up, so it also cools down slower. That means your temperature is more regulated. I don't know if that's particularly the case here, but again, it took us 12 minutes. That's not too bad at all. Now, this is also, guys, plugged into the regular 110 outlet. So it's a standard outlet that it plugs into, 1700 watts. So it's not a ton of wattage, but you can't run a microwave or anything, a hot water boiler if you have this on. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. Have a dedicated line so you don't have to worry about blowing your fuses. Now that it's at 300, gonna go ahead and take my infrared gun and let's do some temperature testing. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with all the quadrants, the middle area, things like that. Keep in mind, this does have a Teflon sheet here. It should affect the overall temperature. 220 right there, 208, 207, 180 right here, 176, again in the 170s, 208, 230, so it's warmer on that corner. 216, 215, 190 something right there. I wish there was a way to take off this cover so that I can actually tell you what the true temperature is. But the main thing that we're testing for here is not just temperature, it's pretty much how even the heat is. If the heat is distributed evenly across the plate. I can tell right now that it's not hitting my 300 degree temperature. I would do a wash test afterwards to see if you need to adjust. If you need to increase the heat, you can always adjust the heat to compensate for it. But again, without actually taking off this Teflon cover, I don't know the true temperature of this. One more thing I have in mind is I'm just gonna use a cloth to try to push this up. Let me see if that makes a difference. So let's just do a regular. So if I did that, 206, if I press this like that, yeah, 230, 240, 250, 254. So it does make a difference by pushing this there. Without actually taking this cover off, you won't really know the true temperature of the top of the press. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check for pressure. We've got a bunch of dollar bills, and what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be putting on all corners of this heat press. This is gonna show, or at least test, how even the pressure is. My goal is to make sure that it has enough pressure where the dollar bills are not gonna slide out. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually calibrate this. So press this down. That was a really easy snap. So it obviously is not enough pressure. You definitely want to increase the pressure. Let me see if I can righty-tighty this one and if it makes a difference. Yep, so it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey is the way to go. So let me test this. This is a pretty hard clamp right there. So I can't even lift it. I wish I had a handle, by the way. Okay, there you go. So that's pretty good pressure. Let me tighten it one more click. That's pretty tight. So loosen it half a turn. There you go. It's a really tight clamp. Pop it up. Okay, there you go. Now I'm gonna get my dollar bills. I like to use dollar bills because dollar bills is like a paper. It's very, very thin. It's not going to easily tear. Let's go ahead and clamp this down. Okay, and let's go ahead and pull. Ooh, it is really tight. So this side, I was able to pull over a little bit. So this side right here seems to be the loosest side. I'm just gonna crank it a quarter turn. I just want it as tight as possible. I'm gonna focus on that corner right quick. Okay. It's pretty tight. The pressure seems pretty solid all around. Everything was tight so far. So now we're gonna go ahead and press our designs. All right, guys, for our blanks, we're using a Smart Blanks UH77. It's 100% cotton. It's actually the same shirt that I'm wearing. It's probably my next favorite shirt these days. It's a heavy duty shirt. So this is 7.7 ounces. Really, really good for your streetwear. Has a tearaway neck tag, and you've got your 1-inch neckline here. So it gives it a nice streetwear look to it. I really like this, and this is what we're gonna be using today for our sample. Now let's go ahead and look at our transfers. Now we get a chance to look at the design that Kittl helped us create. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and clean this up real quick. So we have one extra copy. This is the DTF design. It is huge, guys, look at this, huge. Let's do a quick measurement so that we can get it for you guys. So 15.5 if I'm going to here. This star might be a problem actually, so I might have to press this area twice because it's not big enough. And the height here is gonna be almost 22 inches, so it is really long. So, and then lastly, it's gonna be these two letters here, and we're gonna be using these on the sleeve. Let me just cut this actually, like this first. And those are gonna go on the arms, and I'm gonna get a design like this, like that. Bam, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, now let's go in and set up our heat press. Brand new heat press. There are different ways to probably press this. You can probably load this several ways. So one way to probably load this is if I pull this back right here and I bring the shirt all the way to the top of the neckline, just making sure that it's even on both sides. That's a quick guide, and bam, you're gonna be able to press a huge design all the way to the side and get what you're looking for done. This is one way to do it. After you're done with that, you can probably move this back or flip it around and then press the bottom area if you need to. The other area, the other way to do this is probably sideways. So if you wanted to press this sideways and then push it in, you have the whole t-shirt to actually press in one go. So it's a huge surface again, guys. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm actually gonna set up my heat press with our laser system. This helps with alignment. Our laser system has actually been updated on our website. So if you guys have seen it before, it's now updated. It's at a greater price point or a better price point that's more affordable. And it's gonna help you guys narrow down your alignment so you can start making money and stop wasting shirts. So let's go ahead and grab our ruler and I'm gonna start making some markings on the press. So this is about 16 inches right there. The midpoint is going to be right here at 8 inches. 8 inches. Let's do another one right here. 8 inches, 8 inches. And then lastly right here, I'm just going to go ahead and do something like that for 3 inches. So first thing I'm going to do is do the 3-inch line. And I'll explain all these lines to you guys later. This is not necessary, but it's what we do to help keep things nice, aligned, and centered. So next thing is I'm gonna do the vertical line that runs across to get me that midpoint. And I like that this padding is actually not black, so I can easily make these markings and they are very visible. There you go, I've got the midpoint. And now you're probably wondering, what am I gonna do with those lines? Can't see it. Now this is where our laser system comes into play. So what we're gonna be doing is just gonna be moving our heat press out a bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and align this up. Once you have this lined up, it is easy and it never moves and you're gonna be in good shape from beginning to end of your press. So, okay, there you go. It's even across the board. Now also, one of the things I was realizing too is when I'm moving this, there's no rubber on the metal right here. So I would probably add those sticky rubber stickers that go onto the bottom. It kind of helps it stay in place, especially on a hard surface. It'll stop it from moving left and right. That movement left and right will jeopardize your alignment. If I had that rubber on it, I would actually be more aggressive in lining it up, trying to do it faster. Now for the design, it is huge. Let's go ahead and fold it in half. Let me make sure it's even. I wished I actually used my cutter. It would help me make this straighter, especially such a big design. But that fold in the middle, it gives me the half point, midway point, so that I can easily bring this up to the laser, and then that's gonna be the top of the design. But it is centered right there. Now I'm gonna check right now. This design, guys, honestly to the very edge. Keep in mind, this is a full image and I didn't have to adjust it in any sort of way. It's down to the neck collar, so the neck collar is actually out of the press, so you're not gonna get a press mark right here, but it is pretty close to the edge right here, which I'm a little worried about. I don't know if that's going to actually give enough contact, so I'm actually going to move this up a little bit just to get it within. I have a feeling that I might have to press this more than once, but I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a shot the way it is right now. 300 degrees, 7 seconds, let's go. And it moved, you see that? It moved, guys. The actual transfer did not move, but the heat press moved. Now, because it's such a wide design and the print is all the way to the edge, I recommend using a microfiber cloth to just rub through the edges. This ensures that you're gonna help get that contact, it's gonna help cool it down, it's gonna make sure that it's gonna press into place. I always like to use a microfiber cloth when I'm dealing with non-solid transfers. Let's let this one cool down before we peel, and I'm gonna be very careful when I do this. So I waited about 15 seconds. It's kind of cool, a little bit warm. I'm gonna try to peel it, but I'm gonna be very, very careful. There's actually not a lot of room here and I don't wanna burn myself, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab those double pads and just move the whole thing out. Now it's giving me a lot of extra room to work with this. Use one hand to hold the shirt. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel kind of slowly like this, just to double check and make sure that all the corners and everything adhered. Nope, so that side didn't get a good release. This side did, this side did. Not great either. So let me just try this way, from the bottom up. Nope. So huge print. I'm gonna press this twice just to make sure. I wanna make sure that the heat press is gonna make full contact with the bottom of the pad. So let's go ahead and hit it again, 300 degrees. 7 seconds. And since this is the second time I'm pressing, I should be pretty confident in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling. Oops, that's not good. Let's carefully peel back, carefully. Keep in mind, I am peeling at an angle. I'm not pulling straight up or down. Boom. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look briefly at this design. So the corner right here didn't transfer all the way through because look, it's barely there. This is a really oversized design, so I didn't expect it to be able to do that anyways, but that is something that I would have been more careful about. This design overall, it's not very shiny, but I'm gonna go ahead and matte it down some more. It's gonna give it a nice textured look. I really think it's gonna complement the streetwear. And this is our matte finishing sheet, so let's just go ahead and cover the design. I'm actually gonna need to press this twice because of this. So I'm gonna split it like that. I'm just gonna press it 200 degrees, 7 seconds, heavy pressure. And it does beep, so that's a good thing. Move this back here. Now it's gonna cover the other portion of the design. Once again. Okay. Looks really good so far. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is do the sleeves. So let's lay this out and I'll handle the sleeves. Let me lay this out. I'm gonna go ahead and put the arm designs on the shirt. I've never pressed a design like this before, so kind of excited to see how it looks and how it turns out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the sleeve, and I'm gonna use this arm sleeve for measurement. So I'm just gonna go 2 inches. I'm gonna keep it kind of 1/2 inch from the top and then 2 inch from the sleeve. If the imaginary line was like that, it would line up like that. And then let's go right here. If I'm going 2 inches from the sleeve, yeah, that's about right. 2 inches, the imaginary line would set it right there. Let me just look at it really quick to eyeball to make sure that it looks good like that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Let's grab our heat resistant tape. Looks good to me, looks pretty straight. All right, I'm not sure if this seam right here is gonna make a big difference here. After laying this here and feeling how thick this is, because this is a 7.7 ounce shirt, it's more than normal. You're gonna feel this seam. So because of this, I'm actually gonna use a heat press pillow. Now you always have to tune the heat press once you put in a pillow because this is pretty thick and it's probably not going to close all the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and lefty loosey it, 1 click. There you go. Stick it underneath here. Okay, now it's nice and flat. Once I press this, I should not see any burn or scorch marks. That's what I'm hoping. So let's press. Okay, there you go. You see it? There's no lines that also got pressed, which is very, very good. Usually you would get heat press scorching lines if you're going over thick seams like that. Again, wish it had a handle. Oof, that's so good, so good. All right, let's take a look at the design. All right, let's get this on. All right, guys, I've got it on. Size large, this is how it looks. I really, really like it so far. The text came out really good. The next thing that we have to do is a wash test, and I'm gonna go ahead and rate this press. Let's watch till the end. All right, guys, let's lay this out. Huge, huge print. Let's take a closer look before I start talking about the print. So let's start off with the sleeve right here. It is perfect. You see the lines that are here. It's easier to spot on the white prints, but it shows that the design is embedded into the fabric. So that's the lines that you see there. And then you see the lines here. It is very, very visible. Even up here, down here, right here, light, it's lighter. So I know that the artwork is kind of a portrait type artwork, and so it's not the most clear and detailed artwork, but you do see those lines that run down. That means there is enough pressure. It's been embedded right onto the fabric. Now, with that said, there are certain areas that lacked pressure, but given the fact that this is a huge, huge print, there are going to be some sensitive areas, especially the sides, that may lack enough pressure. So you may not have this issue if you're doing a smaller print, But what I'm seeing so far is, again, the corner right here didn't really pick it up perfectly, but it is still good and it's straightened out after we pressed it. The other section, if you look in this corner right here, it is perfect, right? The lines are here, it has that grunged effect on it. But if you go on to this side, I'm not sure if you can really tell, but there is some actually premature wrinkling here. There's a little bit of wrinkling here from the pressure probably not being adequate. If you go onto this corner, same here, it's wrinkling a little bit more than usual, but mostly on this corner right here. And again, guys, the reason that it was happening, remember when we had this on the press right here, we already called out this corner being a little bit lacking on pressure. So this is the result of it. Anything closer onto this back end had perfect results. Anything, actually this side was good. The bottom quadrant right here, lacking just a little bit, but overall this is not bad. I've seen worse than this. This is passable in my opinion. So that's what we see with the wash test results. All right, so for the results, guys, as far as heating the heat press to 300 degrees, it took 12 minutes. Typically, that's not bad at all. We've had a lot of 16 by 20 presses that take over 15 to even 20 minutes to heat up. 15 by 15 usually takes about 5 minutes to heat up. So at 12 minutes, I would say that's pretty decent. Now, as far as the heat distribution test, I didn't quite get 300 degrees Fahrenheit from the infrared gun. I know that there were some cold spots, there were some hot spots, but I am confident that the results were not precise due to the white Teflon sheet. Actually get something precise, I would have to remove that sheet to maybe test it again and to see if that was adequate, but that's what we got so far. Regarding the dollar bill test, most of it passed, but the top right corner right here was a bit looser than the overall unit here. So that area was a little bit lacking. Now you can technically tighten it to increase the pressure to compensate for that, but guys, and lift, I have muscles here and there, and I had a hard time pushing this down. So if anybody is smaller frame than I am, they might have a difficult time. You might have to use a step stool or something to put more pressure. I wish that it had a handle down there so that you can pull against it. So those were just some things that made this a little bit challenging. To open it, I did have to kind of pop it up. You guys seen that in the video. And I guess, you know, with a press this size, you are gonna have difficulty pressing this down. You're gonna have to definitely use a lot more pressure to actually get this to press. All right, guys, so for our Superstars rating, we're gonna be rating this between 1 to 5 in 5 different categories. Number 1, we're gonna talk about sturdiness. We're gonna give this a 3 out of 5. Weighing in at 63 pounds, even though this unit seems heavy, it's really not for a 16 by 24 size press. This unit does feel pretty solid. It doesn't clamp down any awkwardness on the lever, and the handle is soft. It goes smoothly up and down. The only con that I really had here was that it had no handle. I don't know if it was missing from this particular unit. I wish it had a handle so that you can pull up against it. The other thing is the cord was short. I wish that it had a longer cord, at least 6 foot. I wish it also had some rubber on the bottom so it doesn't slide. The next one we're gonna talk about is the ease of use. We're gonna give this one a 5. Really easy construction, simple buttons, basic features, has a digital display with a built-in fuse. It also has a countdown timer and it beeps when it's done. And it takes about 12 minutes to heat up to 300, so that's not terribly bad. For pressure, we're gonna give this a 4 out of 5. One corner seemed to be lacking pressure, but overall it does pass the wash test, which is the most important. Even if you have good pressure, it would be nice, again, to have a handle to hold up against it. And regarding heat distribution, we're gonna give this a 3 out of 5 because the temperature never hit the 300. Again, there's several factors contributing to this, including the Teflon. We really need to take this out in order to really get the true temperature underneath. But again, you can easily compensate that if you need to. The bottom line is it got the good results when you're doing the wash test. The next thing we're gonna talk about is value. The value, we're gonna give this one a 5 out of 5. Hands down, $300, free shipping from Vevor. That's a really good price point. It's insanely good. It comes with free shipping, which is something that you normally don't see for something this big. It costs a lot to ship this box. Now the Vevor 16 by 24 heat press, guys, out of a 5, it's gonna get a 4-star from us. That's pretty good for a budget size heat press. In conclusion, guys, this press, solid pickup for somebody looking to get into heat pressing. You need something that's large like this, you're at a budget, because at a 1700 watt heat press, being able to plug into your 110 outlet, this makes a good press for somebody at home starting out on a budget, or you're just doing a lot of oversized prints. Regarding improvements, yes, I would like to see some improvements here, mainly a handle. I would love to see rubber on the bottom, and I really can't complain about the price. I can tell you that if this was actually a vertical press setup instead of a horizontal press setup, this was probably my #1 recommended budget press just because of the price and overall easy use of this. And my name is Phil, guys. If you need any professionally made DTF or UV DTF transfers, make sure you guys visit our website, give our business a shot. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business. And if you guys have any questions regarding this press or anything that we've gone through, or if you guys have a press that you guys have in mind that you want us to test, make sure you guys drop a comment below. We'd love to visit that and do the testing for you guys. My name is Phil again, and I'm out. Hope you guys had a good one. Subscribe for the next video.